Hi everybody, it is Dr. Lynn Hoffman-Temple, and I am here today to launch what I am calling a 30-day of balancing challenge. So I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is for myself. I recently completed having a 3-day retreat in the Rocky Mountains, which was an amazing, beautiful experience, and found that I came home and caught a cold. And so one of the best ways that I know of when I catch a cold to come out of that is to do an easy set of balancing techniques for myself for a period of 2 weeks after the cold to just help my body recover. So it started with that, and then when I really started to look at the calendar and look at what the next 4 weeks were holding within the calendar, I became really inspired to support everyone within my community by daily providing an energy balancing as we're going through some times of some pretty intense transitions. And some of those are because we have some power days that are actually coming up in the next lunar cycle. And some of it is things that are happening in our world and us feeling those vibrations and feeling those changes in our day-to-day lives. And so my intention with this 30 days is to just provide you, if you're seeing this, with some tools and techniques to help your energy just ground into the changes that are occurring in our world and around us and in our lives, and just help us stay really grounded and present to what we're experiencing at these times. So some of the power days that we're going to be working with over this 30-day cycle of balancing are Halloween Day, or the Day of the Dead, or the Hallows Eve Day. Sorry, I kicked the chair that the laptop was on there. We also have November 1st, or All Saints Day, or in different cultures, another day, power day. So we have the Day of Things Dying, we have the Day of Things Rising, and then we also have November 11th in these 30 days, which is the Day of Remembrance. And it's actually the 100-year anniversary of the first Remembrance Day this year. So we have a lot of information, we have a lot of power around that idea of what are we letting go of, what parts of ourselves are we allowing to die and be released, what parts of ourselves are we allowing to be rebirthed, what are we willing to see ourselves in a different light, and what are we willing to remember in a different way and from a different perspective also, in order to ground change and transition into our lives and into our bodies. We're also right through the middle of the metal element, and the metal element is its strongest in the fall or the autumn, and so just really balancing the energies of grief, the energies of letting go. And so that's all I really wanted to say about today, about the introduction, why we're doing the 30 days, why now is a good time to do it, and just inviting you to participate in these 30 days of balancing. And each day I will also have a little bit of a question for you around the balancing. Today's question is really simple. Today's question is just to notice at the point in time in which maybe you see this video, how much water have you drank today? And just taking note and noticing for yourself, how did you sleep last night? And thirdly, noticing for yourself, did you have a bowel movement, and what did you notice about it, if anything? And so with those 3 questions, I'm going to go ahead and do the balancing at this point. So again, remember that if you're watching this, you're getting it, and you get even more if you kind of follow along, but you don't need to. So just sit back and relax if you want to and follow along. I'm going to remove my glasses because it makes it easier. But we're going to start by just balancing the right and the left sides of the brain. So you want to place your hand on the very back of your head in the occipital region and just tapping over the head, over the heart, and over the abdomen, engaging the nervous system in the brain, the heart, and our enteric brain, our gut, to come into communication with each other. And then I'm just going to walk my hands up the back of my head, making sure that I'm crossing both halves and tapping over the head, over the heart, and over the abdomen. This just allows the body's ability to heal itself to begin to be in a cleaner and clearer communication with both the right and the left sides of the brain. And so it has helps them to come into a place of beginning to speak to each other. And then when they've come into a place of speaking to each other, checking in with some other parts of the body around the nervous system, checking in with the heart, checking in with the gut. So at this point, we just want to think about completing the circuit, closing the energy circuit around both halves of the brain, like giving the brain a really nice hug. Tapping over the head, over the heart, and over the belly button. So now we're going to do a technique which resets the nervous system. So we want to essentially say to the nervous system, calm down, and there's like a stress threshold level. And it's like we actually want to reset that stress threshold level so that we don't hit our threshold. We do that in Chinese medicine in a number of ways, but one of the ways we do that is by discharging energy out of our kidneys. So allowing the kidneys to come to a place where they're not in fight or flight. Excuse me, some remnants of my cold. So in order to do that, we want to take 2 fingers like this and just apply a slight amount of pressure to your eyes until you see stars. And then you want to take your thumb and your finger like this and find the top of your collarbone and just drop slightly down below the collarbone, and you may find some little tender spots. If you don't find any tender spots, don't worry about it. If you also start to cough, don't worry about it. It's energy moving. Don't be surprised if you actually do feel some energy moving within you. Often when we cough, we're creating energy movement. So I'm just going to tap again over the head, over the heart, and over the abdomen. Now we're also going to work with balancing our hydration and helping our systems and our bodies to be able to use water more effectively or efficiently for us. So we're going to take a Q-tip, and if you don't have a Q-tip, it isn't a big deal. You can use your finger and a glass of water. And you want to dip the Q-tip in the water and get it all nice and wet. And you can either put the Q-tip in your belly button, or you can wet behind your ears and over your heart with it also. Then we're going to do that tapping over our head to get our brain and our nervous system and our body's ability to heal itself now into relationship with the water that we've put on some energy centers. Just breathing deeply. And just keeping in mind that the emotion of joy actually is carried around the body through the lymphatic system. And that when we're working with our body's hydration and water metabolisms, we are deeply working with the body's lymphatic system and deeply working with our ability to receive, perceive, and interact with joy. And just closing that circuit. So the next technique we're going to do is to actually have the immune system begin to balance and work within the microbiome, getting the body's ability to heal itself to begin to look at what is happening with all of the different organisms and their relationships to each other within the immune system. So to do that, I want to actually take my Q-tip and cover it with saliva and genetic material. So I get that all in. Again, I'm going to go behind my ears and over my heart, just because my navel isn't very accessible. And we're going to tap out the balancing on this immune system piece, on our body chemistry, focusing on the body's ability to bring itself into a biochemical balance. As we transition through changes in our lives, through seasons, through illness, through confusion and clarity, our chemistry needs to be responding. It needs to be very responsive. And so that's what we're balancing here, is the responsivity of our body chemistry. Closing that off. Now, to complete the balancing, we want to actually, it's almost like grounding, deeper grounding, bringing the joints and the matched pairs across the body into a balanced place so that the spirit can more easily ground into the physical body, so that we can more easily feel grounded and settled and calm, especially as we're moving through big transitions. So I'm going to hold briefly a number of hand positions that will be balancing major joints and energy centers within the body. And so just knowing that, again, you can follow along, but you don't need to receive the balancing. All right, and we will tap over the head, over the heart, and over the belly button to just make sure that the body, the mind, and the spirit are engaged in that action of grounding into our physical containers this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me. Any comments, any questions that you want to leave would be amazing, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have about the balancing. Don't forget to take note of those 3 things. How did you sleep last night? How much water have you drank so far today? And did you have a bowel movement, and what was it like? And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 2 of our 30-day balancing to get us through our transitions for the fall season. Take care and have a great day. Bye.